afternoon, colleagues. I'm here with Secretary Nathalie Provost. I just wanted to give an update on the Firearms Compensation Program. As you're aware, the program has been rolled out over the last several weeks. We are down to the last 7 days as of March 31st. The time for those who enroll who have prohibited firearms comes to an end. Right now we have over 26,000 Canadians who have voluntarily enrolled, declaring over 51,000 firearms. We are just reminding Canadians to those with prohibited firearms to enroll and to take part in the program. This is a voluntary program. However, compliance under the Act will not be voluntary as of October the 31st when the current order in council is set to expire. So with that, I want to just thank everyone who has already taken their civic duty seriously and enrolled in the program, and we look forward to others doing the same. This is a critical part of the work that our government is doing, in addition to the number of legislation that's before the House to ensure the safety and security of Canadians, and we believe that removing these prohibited firearms is one additional step in that measure. So with that, I'd like to thank my colleague, Secretary Provost, and I'll ask her to offer some remarks.
May I, and will you be able to ask questions after? Vous le savez, la violence par ma feu est un sujet qui me touche profondément, personnellement. Et je suis très, très fière d'être associée à ce gouvernement qui prend des actions pour retirer de nos rues des armes de style d'assaut. Mais ce pourquoi je tenais à prendre la parole aujourd'hui avec mon collègue, on est extrêmement reconnaissant à tous les, j'ai le gun owner en tête, à tous les propriétaires d'armes qui se sont enregistrés pour le programme de compensation. 51 000 armes, c'est une excellente nouvelle. Mais ce qu'on sait, c'est qu'il y a énormément de désinformation. En ce moment, les municipalités au Québec reçoivent de la désinformation qui disent qu'on veut aller contre des armes de chasse et qui se retiennent et qui retirent et qui disent même qu'on ne devrait pas appuyer ce programme-là. À chaque jour où cette information-là fausse circule, vous empêchez d'honnêtes citoyens de récupérer des sommes qui leur sont dues. Ils ont encore 8 jours pour s'inscrire, jusqu'au 31 mars pour s'inscrire et pour qu'ils puissent récupérer l'argent qu'ils ont investi dans des armes qui, après le 1er mars, seront des armes prohibées, des armes interdites et donc qu'ils ne pourront plus jamais utiliser et qu'ils ne devraient pas posséder. Donc, en français, c'est très clair. Arrêtons la désinformation. Ce programme-là ne s'adresse pas aux armes de chasse, s'adresse aux armes de style d'assaut, et c'est celle-là et seulement celle-là. Je vais y aller en anglais aujourd'hui, c'est pas mon aisance, mais je tiens vraiment à dire the gun lobby and the conservatives want you to believe that no one supports the assault-style firearm compensation program. Pierre Poilievre claims that we are, and I quote, confiscating hunting rifles and pop can guns that are used on farm, that we are banning farmers from dealing with gophers. In that compensation program, there is the Ruger Mini 14, which was used against me in Polytechnique. There's the firearm that was used at the mosque. There were some firearms that were used at Port Tapic. I don't feel I am a duck or a gopher or a pop can. So please help us stop that disinformation. Canadians deserve to register and to get their money back. They are honest assault-style. They bought their firearms honestly, with goodwill. And we recognize that, and so that's why there is that compensation program. But if they are not registered by March the 21st, they won't be able to recuperate that money. So please help us spend that information. It doesn't take long, it's just a few minutes, and by March 31, they'll be able to recover their money. There's still 19,000 models that are accessible for hunting, for sport shootings, so they can practice their activities. So please help us tell to Canadians that we're not grabbing guns that are made for dog guns or gopher guns. We are fighting against assault-style weapon, and it's important that the real message is heard. Please.
Minister, how can Canadians have confidence in this program when so many police forces are saying that they want absolutely nothing to do with this?
Thank you very much. Look, different police services have made decisions on their participation on the recovery of these firearms, and I respect their decisions. What will not be optional for police services is the enforcement of these laws as of October the 31st of this year. So we anticipate and we expect every police service to abide by and to uphold the rule of law in Canada, which involves ensuring that those critical components of the criminal code are implemented and are upheld. As per the program that on the collection component of this program, we do have a plan in place for most of Canada involving the RCMP. In the case of Quebec, we have certainly the Quebec who are partners in this. We have additionally a number of smaller police services as well who are taking part, and we anticipate that we will be able to complete the program as anticipated.
Do you see it as important to bring them on board?
Supreme Court, can you answer?
Thank you. Canada is, again, a rule of law country, one where the courts have the final say. But what I can say is that over the last several months, we have been working towards the implementation of this program, and we're rolling it out in a way that is to be accessible to Canadians. The Supreme Court matter, where the Supreme Court gave leave for this matter to be heard, is at a very early stage of the Supreme Court process, which will take anywhere from 18 to 24 months to conclude. This is routine in Canadian, as Canadian laws are implemented. It is routine, as you're aware. We have challenges through the courts in virtually every instance a new legislation or a new regulation is introduced. So we look forward to defending vigorously our position at the Supreme Court level. Two lower courts, so the federal court as well as the Federal Court of Appeal, they were absolutely clear in their declarations, and we're very confident that we'll be able to defend our position at the highest court.
What if it rules the other way?
What I can say is that the way that our system works is, unless there is a ruling, what stands is the decision of the highest court. In this case, is the Federal Court of Appeal.
Mr. Anandasangaree, on the Auditor General's report today, just like to ask you, there were 23,000 folks that the AG was able to determine have overstayed their visas, information that she said your department did not have. Does the CBSA have any information on who has overstayed visas, particularly considering the number of international students who are going to be leaving soon? And do you have the ability to either get those people to leave if they have overstayed their visas?
Look, we are removing individuals at a very fast pace. There's over 22,000 people that were removed in the last year alone, and this is up from 18,000 and 16,000 in the two previous years. So what I can say is, and what I can commit to today, is that we will accelerate and continue the removals at the pace that's demanded, and of course, those who have overstayed their visas will be removed if they're not out of the country already.
Minister, your department said that it had money for about 136,000 guns. Fewer than 50,000 have been declared. What does that tell you about the uptake and the interest in this program from law-abiding gun owners themselves?
I think that a third is still a very, very good number of the total amount we believe there's in circulation. But still, I don't know if you are one who is c'est quoi l'impôt en anglais? Is fiscal, c'est quoi? Pay taxes report at the end. So we believe that these last 7 days are really, really important. It doesn't take long, and it can make a real difference. And I reiterate, we're not removing or grabbing until hunting guns. We are taking back assault-style weapons that were recognized as designed to kill. And most Canadians, more than 70% of Canadians, are in agreement with that project and that program.
What does it tell you then that the majority of police forces and provinces say they don't agree with this program?
So let me look. The majority of police services initially, when the bill was introduced, were supportive of a program such as this. The Mass Casualty Commission report in Nova Scotia specifically asked for measures around ensuring that assault-style firearms are off our streets. What I can tell you is that there is a very strong lobby, a lobby that really has very little boundaries, and they have been aggressive in their attack on this program. They have tried to undermine police services that wanted to be part of the program. They have tried to undermine politicians that have wanted to be, that are supportive of the program. But at the end of the day, I think Canadians have spoken. Over 26,000 Canadians have registered, have enrolled in the program.
Is that very much, though? There's a lot of guns in Canada. A lot of people have guns. 26,000 doesn't sound like a lot.
Well, if I may finish, there are 26,000 individuals who have put their names forward and who have registered, and there are over 51,000 firearms that they have declared. So I believe, and I'm cautiously optimistic, that we have another week to go. And during this week, I encourage and urge every single Canadian to ensure that they enroll in the program. What I will say is, as I said initially, being part of this voluntary program is strictly voluntary. But what is not voluntary is compliance under the Act, which as of October the 31st will be illegal for individuals to hold on to these prohibited firearms.
What do you make of the RCMP in BC have not yet released what weapon was used in the Tumbler Ridge shooting?
My understanding is that they will be releasing that information in due course.
When? And is it appropriate that at this point Canadians still don't know?
There are a number of questions that Canadians want to know. There's a number of questions that people of Tumbler Ridge deserve answers to. This is one of them. As you're aware, there's a coroner's inquest that's currently in progress or just in the starting phase. There's also an internal review by police review body in British Columbia that's undertaking the role of the police in this. And over time, I've committed to this. Premier Eby is committed to it. Minister Krieger is committed. Is that we will be there with the community every step of the way. The questions that desperately need to be answered will be answered. And as the RCMP concludes its investigation, they will be releasing more information on the issues around the type of firearms, issues around the red flag laws, a number of questions that I think Canadians rightfully have a demand to know.
Do you know what the weapon was?
No, I don't.
Madam Provost, what do you make of the RCMP has not yet released what weapon was used?
You have the answer of the minister.
What do you think of the government should do with the SKS? The study of this is not going to be completed until later this year, and it seems like the compensation side of the program is ending this spring.
We will finish the compensation program. We Canadians deserve an answer regarding the SKS, and we will come back to it. But today, what is really important, and all views that are critics to the program answer to the gun lobby. That's for sure. We hear it in Quebec, and I am sure it's all across Canada. Right now, what we have to do is tell Canadians that there was some styles, some models of firearms that were banned. We created a compensation program because all those who bought that were goodwill people and they cannot use it anymore, so we compensate them. And each time we say, oh, it's not a lot, you cannot work, it won't go, we're stopping them from recuperating the money they can have. And we have to tell that everyone who says that it's just duck guns or gopher guns are not saying the truth. Those who were banned are assault-style weapons, and by March 31st, they can register, and so they will receive money for what they bought honestly. After that, they will be banned, they will be prohibited, and we'll see. For all the other issues regarding the gun program, we'll get back to you. But today, what's important to keep in mind is there's only 7 days before the end of the compensation program. And stop disinformation, please.
We'll take one last question, please. Thank you.
How are you connecting to legal gun owners and trying to get them to participate in this program if you keep saying it's the gun lobby, it's conservatives? These are people who own these guns. How's your government connecting with them?
We're writing to them directly, but the gun lobby, the website, the system of gun hunters are going over that. And we are in a society where people do not listen at you, but listen at the gun lobby before listening at the news. So please help us, cite us in their website so they'll know that it's not more than what's already decided in 2020, 2024, and 2025, and that's it, and they can register. Please help us and stop that disinformation. And I'm also saying to my colleagues, the conservative, stop saying it when someone who would like to be a prime minister is saying something, and I quote, confiscating hunting rifles and pop can guns. That's not what we're talking about when we're talking about an AR-15. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.